Hey, it's time to talk about what's been going on in the Collin County market the last 7 days. Before I get into it, I'd like to give a little context. Interest rates fell at some lenders half a point last week, and I met someone this weekend whose rates dropped a point at a builder. So I just want to say this. I ran into a builder that was given $15,000 in closing cost. And the rates had dropped a whole point on Friday. So if you're considering buying, new construction is definitely something you want to put on the table, especially right now. Builders are given great incentives, closing costs, price reductions. It's just a really good time to be considering new construction right now. Rates, like I say, moderated. How long is that going to last? We don't know. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're buying, great time. Now you can't, well, there are some lenders that will allow you to do a lock and shop. A lot of times it involves you paying a fee. And then they give you a float down option. So that's an option too. Get out there, start shopping, get that rate locked. I think they lock them usually for 90 days. I'm not a loan officer, but I know lenders that are doing that. So something to keep in mind. And sellers, with rates down, a good time to consider putting your house back on the market if you took it off. A lot of people think holidays are not a good time to sell. It really is. I've had my biggest months in December. So just keep that in mind. So before we get into the Collin County area, let's go over what's going on across the Metroplex. Last 7 days, 2,477 new listings, 529 came back on the market. Those are buyers that exited their contract due to probably property condition. Maybe they found another property, better price. And there were 3,416 property reductions. That's almost 1,000 more reductions than new to the market. Had 211 properties that didn't sell during the time the agent had a contract with them. And 546 sellers canceled their listing in the last 7 days. So a lot different picture than last year. Let's talk about Collin County now. From having new homes on the market to having been sold, 654 the last 7 days. That's 123 down from this time last year. Weather could have had a factor. It's just seasonal. But the demand is not changing. We still have 365 people a day moving here. So sellers, great time to sell. Buyers, with rates higher, it's a good time to buy. The biggest part of your payment is not your principal and interest. It's your taxes and insurance. I talked about that last week. So this week, 229 new properties hit the market. Had price changes in Collin County. Had 187 that went under contract. Had 89 that went pending and 150 that sold. And Allen had 18 new properties to the market or price changes, 22 went under contract, 3 that went pending and 8 that sold. You can see these numbers new to the market and under contract. They're pretty close to one another, so that tells you there's still velocity. It's taken 30 to 45 days for most homes to go under contract now. Buyers are picky, so sellers, keep that in mind. Make sure your home is up to snuff, at least average condition, if not better. Doesn't mean you need to go spend a bunch of money on upgrades. Fix the things that buyers can see. That's my best hint to you, to get the max dollars and get it sold quick. Anything that you can see a buyer sees, take care of that. Lucas, 4 new properties to the market this week are price changes. We had 3 that went under contract, 1 that went pending, and 3 that sold. Parker, 1 new to the market this week are price change, nothing went under contract or pending, and 2 that sold. Fairview had 2 new properties to the market this week or had price changes, 2 that went under contract, 1 that went pending, and 1 that sold. Plano. Okay, we're to the part of the report where I go over the largest 3 cities in Collin County. Number 1 this week from properties being new to the market, haven't been sold, is Mckinney at 129. Frisco, number 2 at 121. Plano, number 3 at 113. So Plano had 37 new properties to the market this week or price changes, 33 that went under contract, 8 that went pending, and 35 that sold. Frisco, 39 new properties to the market this week or price changes. We had 28 that went under contract, 25 that went pending, and 29 that sold. Mckinney, 49 new properties to the market this week or price changes. We had 41 that went under contract, 13 that went pending, and 24 that sold. Lavon, 2 new properties to the market this week or price changes. 1 that went under contract, 5 that went pending, and 4 that sold. Melissa, who had 7 new properties hit the market this week or had a price change, 7 that went under contract, 4 that went pending, and 6 that sold. Wylie, we had 9 new properties to the market this week or price changes, 11 that went under contract, 7 that went pending, and 5 that sold. Princeton, lots of new construction there. And speaking of new construction, worked with some buyers over the weekend that found a home. You do have to, I'm going to talk about PIDs here. The home they found they liked had a PID. That's a tax. It's 30 years because the developers don't want to pay for the infrastructure, so you pay a tax based on the size of the lot, and it's over 30 years. No interest, it doesn't increase or decrease, but it's there for 30 years. When you sell it, the next buyer picks up where you left off paying. So just something to keep in mind. Princeton, 28 new properties to the market this last week or price changes. We had 8 that went under contract, 10 that went pending, and 9 that sold. Farmersville, 3 new properties to the market this week or price changes. 4 went under contract, nothing went pending, and 3 that sold. Anna, we had 16 new properties to the market this week or price change. We had 8 went under contract, 10 that went pending, and 9 that sold. Van Alstyne, we had 6 new properties to the market this week or had a price change. 3 went under contract, 4 that went pending, and 3 that sold. Hope you're finding this report useful. Let me know if there's any other subject you'd like me to cover. I know I talked about HUD foreclosures last week. I even did a little maintenance tip about keeping your pipes from freezing. We're at that time of year. I know we're going to be in the 20s, I think, next week. Definitely something you want to pay attention to. If you have any questions about what's going on in your neighborhood, anything real estate related, doesn't have to be real estate related, just something about the area. I've lived here since I was 2. Have a good one. Enjoy the rain. We definitely need it. Not that I enjoy driving in it, but we definitely need it for the lakes. See you next week.